Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we're doing yet another kind of different style video where I want to talk about the most broken expansion of all time. And people will be like, oh, it's Kobolds of Catacombs, it's Frozen Throne, maybe Descent of Dragons, but you gotta understand, it's actually not any of those. And let's take a look at the collection to really get a grasp of what the most broken expansion of all time is, because you can't just look at one or two cards. You really need to look at it, and in my opinion, it is this expansion. Scholomance Academy, for me, has got to be the most insane, ridiculous expansion of all time. It totally defines the current meta in the game. It has some nerfed cards of all time, and so many cards you could say that should be nerfed that have yet to be nerfed. So let's go through Scholomance and what makes Scholomance so good. So starting with Demon Hunter, you had like the whole soul fragment stuff, and that was tier 1, ridiculously good when it came out, and until it was nerfed multiple times. So we had Spiritlit Jailer, very good card. Soul Shear, very good card. We haven't even Ace Hunter Cream, which recently has popped up as a bad legendary from Scholomance for a while, and that card is incredibly powerful. But you look at cards like Shard Shatter Mystic, which got nerfed, was like a Dustbreaker on steroids, ridiculously good as well. Just some incredibly good stuff. And Demon Hunter was scaled back because of how great it was in Ashes, but even a Soul Shard Lapidary, Sociologist Militia, insanely good cards. Demon Hunter is actually one of the weaker sets from Scholomance, so that's a pretty insane start. And then you take a look at Druid. Look at the Druid cards in Scholomance. Lightning Bloom, ridiculous. Unnerfed Innervate, but you overload, but just bafflingly good. The study cards were all introduced in Scholomance outside of the Demon Hunter Illidari studies. One of the best Druid cards, period. Just, you get Mana Cheat, Discover, great. Gibberling wins the game on turn 1. It's Violet Teacher for 3 mana less. Absolutely insane. Gydra is a great card. It doesn't even see play these days. That's how good that card is. Twilight Runner, Teacher's Pet, the whole Guardian Animals package, which got nerfed. Guardian Animals got nerfed. You have Survival, as well as Omu, Assault Card. Like, Druid got some ridiculous stuff. Like, think about comparatively to like the last couple expansions, the power level of these Druid cards alone are just defining, are just on a level beyond anything else. Hunter got Whirlpool-Tinger, insanely strong card. Adorable Infestation has been meta since it got introduced. That's actually about it for Hunter. Hunter actually didn't get a ton, but still got some good stuff. But yeah, Hunter definitely on the weaker end with like a Professor Slate, a Blood Herald, a Bark Stripper, which is probably good in pretty much any other class, or Shando Wildclaw. Hunter, okay, not the most fantastic, but then look at Mage. Look at Mage. Brain Freeze, very good card. Devolving, absolutely ridiculous. Lab Partner, very solid. Primordial Studies, great. Wand Thief, insane. Cram Session, insane. Firebrand, super solid card. Combustion, Mazaki, Frost Whisper, Jandis Barov, all in the same expansion. The power level on Mage, absolutely ridiculous. Paladin went from unplayable, like was really bad in Ashes, to a very good class till, well, this day pretty much, with insane cards like Argent Braggart. You have Goody Two Shields, Barov, Blessing of Authority, as well as Hayabes, which got nerfed, another nerfed card. And even Devout Pupil is pretty solid in Libra Paladin. They got some pretty impressive stuff. Priest, Raise Dead, unbelievably good card. I do think needs to get nerfed at some point. Draconic Studies, incredibly solid. Wave of Apathy, extremely good. We have Mindrender Elusia, which was nerfed and is still the bane of many people's existence. Cabal Acolyte, which is nerfed and still a meta card to this day. High Bessalora, nerfed for Paladin reasons. Devout Pupil, not a ton of play. And Flesh Giant, we saw in Priest not until like Devouring Plague came out. Then we have Rogue with Secret Passage, another incredibly good card that got nerfed. Coerce, very solid. Self-Sharpening Sword, an incredibly solid weapon. Velpura Toxin Blade, good wild card. And Odd Rogue, good arena card. Doesn't quite make the cut in standard, but solid. Like, this is a bad legendary from Scholomance. Infiltrator Lillian, it's a very good card, not bad at all. Steel Dancer was pretty solid in the weapon works. Cutting Class, 0 mana draw 2, incredibly good card. And again, Krastenov, super solid in weapon decks, and of course Jandas yet again, which was nerfed. So again, insane options. And even Paladin, again, the devolving missiles, a Diligent Note Taker, Instructor Fireheart, incredibly solid cards, Gydra, Frost Whisper, Totem Goliath, which was pretty good in Totem Shaman, Tidal Wave, good control shaman card, one of the weaker classes from the set, still really good cards. Warlock, again with the Raised Dead, they got a good discard card in Bone Web Egg, but mostly in Wild. The Soul Fragment stuff was good in Control Warlock. Twitch Willow got buffed, but overall, you know, still hasn't really seen a ton of play. And the Flesh Shines breaking the game effectively in Wild. Dark Lair Warlock. And lastly, you got Warrior with Bear Off, Athletic Studies, Playmaker, which started off slow but is now really good. Reaper Scythe was solid. Troublemaker is a bonkers card. And Rattlegore, a great win condition. So the class cards, phenomenal. And then you go to the neutrals. You have some pretty busted stuff in Broomstick. That's never been nerfed and has been the discussion of many nerf talks. Penflinger was nerfed. This is a super solid aggro card, good tutor card, incredible hero power cheating card. You could argue that that card could be nerfed. Wandmaker, incredible value card. Sneaky Delinquent, Cult Neophyte, Panthera, like the cards go on in the neutral options. Voracious Reader, Absurd at 2 mana, that got nerfed. Fishy Flyer, very versatile card. Tutor saw a good amount of play. Polkelt got nerfed as well. Kel'Thuzad has seen play as well. Lake Thresher, pretty decent. Ogremancer was very meta for quite some time. Mage Scribe, solid. Steward of Scrolls, good card. And Plague Pareto Drake as a good discover option. And they're like, look at the cards that we just went through from Skullman's Academy and how incredibly impactful they were. And I didn't even mention the card I'm missing because I disenchanted it. First Day of School, another double nerfed card. This card was nerfed twice. It was so good. And yeah, Skullman's Academy, the dual class stuff was just so incredibly powerful. And it's funny that it was often only powerful. Let's say Abessalor was like only really powerful paladin, so it gets nerfed and it hurts priest at the same time. And it was just such an insanely powerful expansion with so many cards nerfed, or so many cards that you could argue should be nerfed. And just as a quick comparison, if you look at a Kobolds and Catacombs, you look at Kobolds, which a lot of people would say is more busted. You look at Druid in particular, like, yeah, you got the Spellstone, you have Summons, you have Paths, but that's it. You have like 3 insanely good cards. Hunter had the Spell Hunter stuff, like, you know, Katrina, which wasn't that great. You have Mage with runes and the weapons, right? The legendary weapons were good. Paladin had Call to Arms, which is a pretty bonkers card. Priest basically got Psychic Scream, which was disgusting, and Spellstone. There were some good cards in here. Minstrel, Sonya, but for the most part, it was like 2 or 3 good cards per class. And you go through, or Warlock, which is like, what are these cards? Oh my goodness. But if you look through like class by class, there's a lot of good cards, but there's a lot of duds. You look at Skullman's Academy, there just aren't duds. This set is one of the most powerful, the most busted of all time. And is that a bad thing? For me, Skullman's was like the most flavorful, the most interesting designed expansion in recent times. And even though I think it's the most broken expansion of all time, it's probably one of my favorites still, despite all of that, because I'd rather be doing interesting broken stuff than boring broken stuff, if that makes any sense, because a lot of these cards were extremely flavorful, a lot of fun to play, not necessarily a lot of fun to face, but Skullman's for me is still like a really solid expansion, but at the same time is also, in my opinion, the most broken expansion of all time. So let me know what you guys think. Is Skullman's the most broken expansion of all time? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.